Hey there, scrappy friends. I want to tell some stories about my mug collection. I just took the pictures today while I was putting away some of my Christmas mugs. And so I decided to pull out and see if I had done any planning for the Collect Story Kit that came out. I think it was 2024. And let me get situated there. So I think I've opened this kit and looked at it, but I don't think I did anything with it. And so I figured since I want to play with it, look at it a little bit, then I wanted to bring you all along. I just realized I don't have any of this packaging open and I don't like that crinkle noise. So I'm going to pause and open the packages and then come back on. Okay, so I've opened the packages for the papers. There's a couple of things I'm going to leave in the packages and then I'll just look at it while it's inside the package. The first thing is these chipboards. I like that there's 1, 2, and 3. And I feel like that lends itself to telling a story with 3 points. And maybe I kind of like the idea of cutting them in half and orienting them so that they would be on the edge of a photo. Is there any, and it doesn't look like there was any word stickers in here. Nope. Okay. So, all right. Number 1 is, oh, that would be cool to use them as almost as bullet points, cut them in half and use them as bullet points because they have the 0 on there. Let's see, there we go. They have the 0 on there, but it looks a little bit like a bullet point. So I like that. So I'm writing chipboard numbers 1, 2, and 3 and using them as bullet points. And that might be really cool for an introduction. To a couple of stories. And these other ones might be, this collection matters to me, collecting, never too much, love this stuff. They might be titles for the list. So if you had a 6 by 8 page, I'm using an 8 by 10 page, so so if you had the title, and that could be collect or a chipboard. And then you would have 1, 2, 3. And then maybe some written journaling out and maybe a photo here. Or if you just had your page here, then you had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then, so for me, I'm looking and I have Christmas, fall, winter, and Valentine's Day mugs. And I also have gnome mugs that I have begun to collect because I like gnomes. So I could talk about the different types of mugs, like holiday mugs, gnome mugs, and then gifts I've received as part of a collection. So that would be pretty cool. And this would be a good title page. So I could have just a list of the types of mugs in the 1, 2, and 3. And it might be nice just to cut off and just have the color, because if it's a bulleted list, it doesn't, I don't know what I would do. Well, I don't think it would look right with that white on there. Okay. So if I use it in this fashion, I'll cut off white. And let's see. So the collections that I've identified are shot glasses, photo albums, mugs. I have a ton of Jesus tees with Bible verses and crosses and that sort of thing on them. And they're for different seasons. I have so many of them that I have to pull them in and out because they can't all fit in the drawer. So at this point, I have basically stopped buying them until I decide to do something with the ones that I have. So I had to stop buying them. I was buying too many. This little pie thing. That would be a good... Is there anything else in here that has that? So this has that. Whoops, I just bent it. So this piece has the pie thing on it. This has the pie on it. Okay, so that's the only things. Maybe this has some on there. So I kind of like the idea of that. Okay. So these 3 things have the pie on it. That might... So journaling here, and then writing different things, gathering together, collecting memories. Maybe something that you used to collect that you don't collect, or every time you do a certain thing, like every time you travel, you collect a shot glass, and you travel with friends or something like that. So I collect shot glasses. I used to collect more coffee mugs every time I traveled, but I ran out of space, and I decided when I moved across country, I decided to get rid of a bunch of the coffee mugs. And so I had about half of the mugs, and then so I had about half of the coffee mugs, and then when I had even less space when I moved again into my new house. And so I got rid of even more because I didn't know what to do with them, and I had so much stuff. I had way too much stuff. So I got rid of the mugs and kept the shot glasses. Because at one point I bought a shot glass and a mug, so I had 2 things. And so if I got rid of the larger item, then I could have more of the smaller items, and I think that was my logic. So this might be... Maybe life isn't about avoiding the bruises. Maybe it's about collecting the scars to prove it. We showed up for it. To prove we showed up for it. I like that. So it could be, I think this is enough to make 2 3x4 cards. So there's also the one page protector by scrapbook.com, which has the 4x4, and I think you could put this in there. I don't think I have any. Let me go check. All right, let's see. Okay, so I don't appear to have any more of those, so I won't bother with it. Oh, but in the 10x8 album... Okay, so in the 10x8 album, that will fit in there, and this will fit in there. And this is 3, not 4. So I like this idea. So you could have a 4x4 photo. I could have a 4x4 photo here of the shot glasses. That should be pretty easy. Or a 4x6 photo here, and then the journaling in here. Or I can have multiple photos, or a picture of going somewhere, like where I've gone and picked up a shot glass. I think this would just end up being extraneous on that. Actually, I should probably just leave that out. So that, okay. And then I need since I'm doing my stories in the 10x8 album, and the 4x4 is on this end. So the pocket there, 4x6 card. And this might be a fun spot in the wheel to tell. So I could either cover it up with a messy circle, or I could write in each little spoke. I could write, I don't think I've actually watched this story class either that goes along with this, but I could write where I've gone and some of the places or types of places, depending on how many there are, where I've gone to buy the shot glasses. And then I could have two. These page protectors divide really well. So 2 3x4s and a 3x4 here, and use this as a filler on the side, just as a decoration, and so you end up with about an inch of it off of there. I like it. And then I will divide that in half, so with a fuse tool. So I just wrote fuse tool, and then 3x4 with stripe border. Okay, doke. And so I am going to leave this like this since I want to tell these stories. I've been thinking about what stories to tell, and so I think that would be a great story to tell with those. So I'm just going to leave that. I Collect Words and Photos is a great way to tell stories about the scrapbooking. So I have those plastic attachers, so I could just cut one in half and put this on the top or the bottom, or I can adhere it to a 10x8 page. So this is not the right measurements, but it would be great to just, actually, there we go. It's the right measurement. And the journaling, or a flip over card. So a large photo of my albums on the shelf I mean, they're in multiple places, so it might be good just to have a couple of collage photos in the background, and then journaling for a flip up here and embellishments. Maybe a photo of myself scrapbooking. So I like that. I could tell that story. So that's the scrapbooking story. And then a photo of me scrapping, so maybe a 3x4 or a 4x4. And then a collage of the various albums. This might also be fun to make a list of albums on the front, and then the reason why I scrapbook. And I'm wondering if I can put this directly into my printer, because that might be a long. Another option would be to print the list on vellum. Let me grab a sticky note. Oh no, I tore the sticky note because my December daily is on it. Okay, so I'm going to write list on the front and reason why on the back. So there and there. And then also use 3x8 paper. Okay, so I've got 2 down, 2 stories, yay! And the love this stuff would be great because the chipboard is that darker green color. Okay, wow, that's going really fast. Okay. So I think I've got most of those. Oh, here's another one. I'm going to put that with that. So those go together. Plus 3x4. So that would be great for a 6x3x4 page protector. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to number this number 2 and this number 1, and then write on this number 2, so that when I go back to look at these notes, I will know. The number 1 story is about shot glass collection. Okay, so I'll just put that right on the front of there, and then story number 2. And so since I'm planning this out, I can just put these directly into my album. And I've got a couple of page protectors still out because I was working on December daily. So I will put that right there. And those will be together. There are things which nobody would see unless I photographed them. Collecting memories. And this is just a polka dot one. And collect moments, not things. A little stripy, and love this stuff. Oh, this would be a great story to tell about having a larger than I had scrapbook collection of items, like to scrapbook with, like stickers and stuff like that. So the number 3 story is love this stuff, and that would go well with this never too much. Although, as we all know, there really is too much. So number 3 is and collect moments, not things. I like that. So I like this blue paper and the love this stuff and the never too much. So the blue stripe 6x8, the love this 4x4, and the never too much chipboard. Those go well together. And just a photo plus words. Maybe a 6x8 insert right behind that or right in front of it. Either way. With a 4x6 across the top. Is there enough room for that? 4x6 across the top. This here. Never too much in the corner. Do I need... I feel like that would then be blank. Maybe just right here. Or flip over, and this is the journaling, so I don't need journaling there. Let yourself fall in love with something that simply makes you happy. If there's a place for it in your heart, there's a place for it in your home. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty cool. Or a page protector would work too. So if I did a page protector, yeah, or I could do it outside. Either way. Photo, and then put this on one of those attachers. And something filler here. I'm going to do 6x8 page, inside or outside. Okay, this is the supply story. And so I would actually need to take the picture for that. Oh, this goes with that. That doesn't go there. That goes there. Okay. Brought together by collecting myself. I can do this. I think these two go together. I like this. That might be good. Collecting my thoughts, making it make sense. Collecting. Collectors are happy people. Selecting memories. Collect things you love that are authentic to you, and your house becomes your story. I like the idea of these together because I have recently, this is kind of cool. I like those two together. this kind of goes with that. I don't know if I would actually use it, but I think I will. This collecting card. I don't have a page protector for it. Yes, I do. I have an 8x8 right here. So I like these all together. And so if I don't use that, I don't know what I would use it for other than to tell a story like that. But I like these together to tell a story of decluttering and taking some photos. I mean, right now it's very untidy with a bunch of scrapbooking stuff. I have an idea for that too. With a bunch of scrapbooking stuff out for December daily plus Project Life because I don't want to get off track, and then adjusting things and wanting to tell a bunch of different stories all at once. So I think these together would be so collecting, and maybe this would also just be in the middle, in a photo, so I could tell the story of decluttering and how, when you're done, I've heard minimalists say, like, if you only have clothes you love in your closet, then you're always wearing your favorite things. And so this makes me think of that and that it's referencing my house, like all of the things that I kept when I moved from Ohio to Arkansas, and then all of the things that I kept after I decluttered when I moved inside of Arkansas are my favorite things. So I like this idea. So telling the story of decluttering plus the end result being my favorite things. And I'm getting ready to move again, so I'm going to have to work on that again. So I like this idea. I like it to be a 2-page spread with the 6x8 size. And I like it with the 4x6 photo and the currently accumulating. For that too. Or was I? No, I like these colors together. This one seems like it might go with that, the scrapbook supply story. So these two definitely together. I like those. I like this with the 4x4 in the middle. On attachers. And this is the moments, not things paper. And that would go nicely in there. And these are the same color. Marble. So I like these. And so that'll be number 4. I didn't even think of that as an initial story. So I like that. So I'll put this over here on top of this pile. I'm running out of spots to put things. And so I think I've got all of this stuff. This collection matters to me. That's also cool. This collection bought together by Collecting Memories. Collectors are happy people. So I like I'm not a super fan of this paper or these things really, but they almost fit on top. And so of course I don't have a ruler nearby. I moved it somewhere else. No, I didn't. I thought there was one over here. So they're about 1.5 inches and about 2 inches wide. Maybe I could put a tiny portrait photo in there, or alternating photos and journaling. And there are there's 5 of these and 4 whole of those. But yeah, so those 2 put together. I don't have a specific story for them, but I could probably figure something out. And that goes nicely. Okay, so this one, I like these together. This is number 5. And I like this one. I like this collecting myself and collecting my thoughts. And then this together, because it's kind of, I wonder if the grit story kit the color schemes go along with this. I don't think I have it handy, but what I think these 3 goes together, and I've got this sort of thought coming through about starting over and setting life goals that I have recently done. And making, collecting myself, I can do this. And really life, just telling a story, maybe no photos, or I really like the idea of having a lot of journaling and maybe some photos of myself while journaling. Yeah, I like this. I think together, I don't really have a full idea, but I do sort of have this thought of just putting them side by side like this in a pocket page, or this way together. Yeah, just considering looking back at things. So I've been divorced for 6 months, 7 months. I don't know. And I like the idea of telling a story of thinking about starting over, living a different type of life, and making a better life overall. Okay, so I like that. So this is going to just be number 5 by itself. And I'm just going to title it Starting Over. All right, so 5 of these, and I like this idea. And I like this together. I like these together. Collectors are happy people. I guess it would have to be this way, wouldn't it? And then this here. I think this is good to tell another sort of scrapbooking story. I guess that's kind of meta, isn't it? Just telling the story about the photographs we take, how we take them, why we take them, excuse me, and how they make us feel. And learning different things over time. And I like this being a photo just fit right inside there. It looks like it's about, it's not 5/8, 7/8. It's 4 7/8. It's not quite 3 by 5, and that is about 3.5, about 3.5, and this is about 7/8. So if it was 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, then it would fit well. And this, a photo would just fit right inside of this square. Another option is just to do a 3 by 4 and then some journaling right next to it typed out, which I like that idea too. And I think these two are the only chipboards that are left. So I like those as well. So I'm going to say this together is story number 6. And I'm going to call it a photography story. Okay. And I think this would also be a 6 by 8 maybe. Can it go in I don't have a divided one, but let's, so it could maybe go in, no, it goes this way, here, or back to back. And then this guy here. And was there another one? No, I think that's it. I like this. I like this right here. And I think there's another one that has this same design, but that would make this here, because I was going to do that there, and then just setting that over there. Okay. So just drawing my little thing here. So I need the 4 by 6 and the 4 by 4, and then the fuse tool. And so this is probably the back of something. And we've got the collect memories. And I like this one at the bottom to sort of alternate them so they're not all in the same spot. And then a quote card. And then this one is 4 by 6. And that is the photo inside, and then this is going to say collect. Okay, and so there's that, and then maybe another photo here. Boom. I like that. So there's that, and all of these are together. And I think on my table over here there's another big page protector, so I'll stick those in there. And add in a chipboard, and almost the whole kit is done except these, and I'm happy to put this stuff just into my stash, and I think almost all of these are done. Let's see, on my list of things that I have collecting: shot glasses, photo albums, mugs. Oh, I haven't done my ornaments and unicorns. Oh, I used to have a unicorn collection, but I don't have a unicorn collection anymore. Huh. I wonder what I was thinking when I wrote this. But Jesus tees, I could do something with this, even if I just used it as a backer. To tell a story about my favorite t-shirt place, along with some of those. Okay, so I'll use that together. I think I'll keep these separate. And number 7. So I think I have almost smashed this whole kit. 7 is Jesus, jeez. I know I started to try to tell this story a couple of years ago. And I didn't like how I put the pages together, so I just set them aside. And so I think I'm going to have to take the pages apart and figure out if I can reuse any of the photos, if any of this will work, because it might work. So I'll try and figure that out. This one's a little iffy because I'm not necessarily a fan of these. I like the wonkiness of the shape, and I like the oval, but I don't like the wonky scallop. But all of the pieces will go together. So and then since I have the, and I don't know what to do with these plastic words. Maybe I'll use them as a title on one of these pages. Yeah, so there we go. I think the only thing, and I don't have a plan for this, so I know I want to use them, and I can use them to tell that story, but there's a lot of t-shirts, like a lot, maybe close to 30 or 40 t-shirts, and then I wonder if there's anything that I decide not to use or swap out. I can use it along with this, or I could just use items from my stash that coordinate with this kit. Yeah, and so I think the only thing I haven't explicitly planned to use is this green stripy chipboard circle and these two things. And these two things go together in my mind, and it kind of goes with the blue paper, but I want to use that blue paper. And then this. But I have a little, so initially what I was thinking, another idea, is to use these because they've come in a couple of different kits, right, over the last year. So I'm going to put, did I write? I'm going to put this on this side. And this is, and so I'll store these in my album because I want to tell these stories. This story kit has just been bouncing around in my brain for the last couple of weeks. And so my other idea was to take these pockets along with any other pockets that are left over that I haven't used yet. And I ordered one of those boxes that Ellie Edwards did in, I think, late 2023, and I ordered it in January of 2024. And there's a lot of stuff. I've sorted it and it's put away into my stash and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff that I haven't used. And one of the items was that little 4x4 album with the 3 binder rings, and I thought these would fit very well inside of that. And so I wanted to add some of these to that binder ring and just tell, I really don't know what to do with the extra ones, but just think of a story to tell and put them in that little tiny album. Find out something to do with it. So I'm just writing the tiny 4x4 album and remaining pockets. And it might be fun just to put some fat binder rings on there. And I mean, because these pockets will fill it up really fast. And so just put the fat binder rings on there. And just fill it with a bunch of pockets and 4x4 photos to go with them. So it would be like photo on the back, pocket, photo on the back, pocket. And whenever I have extra pockets, just put them in that album and tell tiny stories. Okay, friends, so let's recap the stories that we've come up with. Let's see, I think it's been about 45 minutes. I think I started around 6 o'clock, or just after 6 o'clock, and it's almost 7. So story number 6 is the story of telling a story about photography on a 10 by 8 page along with a 4 by 6 page. Story number 7 is telling the story about my Jesus teas with my the wonky scallops. Oh, I guess I want that in numerical order since I'm going backwards. And then 5 is starting over, and that's using these guys. These 3 things with no photos. And it will probably just be a 6 by 8 page protector. And these items, so the 6 by 8 paper and the 3 4 by 6 cards and the filler card along with that, all together would be the story of decluttering and living a different sort of life with all of my favorite things. And that makes me think of that song from The Sound of Music. What number is that? 4? So I'm going to write that down. Because it might be fun to print out the lyrics for these are a few of my favorite things. And then another one with the telling the story of collecting scrapbook supplies. And then number 2 is the story. Is this number 2? What's number 1? The pocket. Did I make a mistake here somewhere? Oh, it's just the chipboards together. Okay, so number 1 is just those 3 chipboards on the back of a paper to... okay, so number 2 is using the 3 by 8 paper that I collect words and photos. These stories really would go together with the scrapbooking story and the photography story really go together. And then this is story number 1, creating a title page for a small section in my album about things that I collect. And then, yeah, I like that. Okay, so the only thing that I have left at this point is these 2 cards. So, I think, yeah, I'll take some more photos of my various little collections. The t-shirt collection will probably be last because there's so many of them. And then it might be fun to put them all on and take a picture of myself in the shirt so that I get myself in the album. So that might be a fun thing to do. And then... so the first thing I should do is start the title page. The second thing, the easy ones are to tell the stories about scrapbooking and photography and starting over, which doesn't necessarily go together with collecting things, but it's collecting your life. And this one kind of goes together with the decluttering one as well. So six actual stories and a quick little introductory page to collecting, and then a tiny little bonus story. So I think what I'm going to try and do is put some close-up photos of my little idea pages here, and try and put them in a blog post and see if that works out well. Or to try and figure out how to put them in a photo at the end. So here are those pages. So there's 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and then 7. There we go. All dinner. So thanks for hanging out with me. These videos really are motivating me to use these products and actually make projects with them, and sharing them with you is fun for me. So I thank you for showing up, and if you want to see more videos, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you around again. Bye, friends.